Hello there, friends. This is Isaiah, and you are here. The subject I want to talk about today is the subject of time and how it applies to each of us in our day-to-day lives. Time is something that's relative to each and every one of us as individuals. What do I mean? Tongue-tied. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, based on what we do for a living, what we like to do for fun, what our obligations are, what we choose to do and don't do, is all based around time. Some of us have more of it, some of us have less of it, or at least that's our perception of it anyway. Because nothing exists beyond the realm of our perception, and that includes time. Time can be a wonderful thing. Time can be something that we use to measure our greatest experiences in life. Human beings as a species have created time as a system of measurement to measure when the sun sets and sun rises, to measure the changes of the seasons, to mark certain moments in history. We created time. We created calendars to do that. But how does time affect us in today's modern society? Well, we live by it. We go to work at a certain time, we go to the grocery store, we live our lives and carry out our responsibilities and all necessary functions to survive in this third dimensional reality based around the construct of time. Time becomes very damaging when we allow it to stress us out, when we start to believe that we're lacking it, when we start to feel like it's something that hangs over us, crushing us, and is punishing us in some way. And we've all, at one point or another, viewed time in this manner. We've all had a very negative perspective of it. We spend the majority of our lives exchanging moments of our existence for currency so that we can survive. That's why it's very important that we spend our time doing the things that we love. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it's very nurturing and very rewarding to the soul if you spend your time doing something that you love and that you care about. Spending time with our friends and family, communing with them and sharing in love and experiences and laughing. That's a very constructive use of time. Now, we all have to work and we all have to provide a means of surviving on this planet right now. But if you're in a situation where you may be working a job or doing something that you don't like to do on a daily basis, there's a couple of things that you can do to get back some of that time. You can decide to change your mind about it and decide that, you know what, I've got to do these things. I've got to spend a lot of my time earning a living so that I can meet the demands of my obligations and I can be happy about it and I can work towards doing something that I'm passionate about. And while I might have to do this right now, while I might have to do this thing that I don't enjoy, I know that if I take care of myself and I spend my time wisely, meaning planning and making time, ample time to get things done, instead of pushing everything off and procrastinating to the last minute, which in turn stresses us out. If we can do things with an air of grace and deliverance and intention, if we can motivate ourselves to get started just a little bit sooner each and every day, then we won't be as stressed out and we won't perceive time in such a harsh manner. Everything is eternal. Energy is a whole, is eternal. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it just is. Energy is constant. One day our bodies will go back into the earth, and the spark inside all of us, our soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, whatever your philosophy is surrounding what happens when you die, is going to eventually happen. And right now, for whatever reason, we live and exist in this time and then in this present moment. We're here to do something. We're here to, in some way, enrich the lives of others and to make some sort of a change on this planet through our services. Spend your time wisely. Spend your time in service to your fellow man. Spend your time nurturing yourself, nurturing your soul. Spend your time with the people you care about the most as often as possible. At some point, the time to do all of these things will have transitioned, and that will no longer be available to you. So be very, very mindful of what you're doing and when you're doing it. Observe the present moment for what it really is. That's the only true time that we have, is the present moment. Be in this moment without worrying about past moments or future moments. Be here, be now. We've all heard that talked about. Being in the present moment is widely discussed in the spiritual community nowadays. And for many people, it's a practice that's becoming common knowledge. And for many people, they're still just waking up to that realization. They're still just starting to consider what the present moment is. Use the present moment as an opportunity to observe your thoughts. Let go of the thoughts that don't serve you. And honor the thoughts that do. Hear that? That was the silent stillness that is the present moment. Surrender to it. Every single chance you get an opportunity to surrender to that moment. I read a book some years ago called The Power of Now, written by Eckhart Tolle. It taught me a lot of good things surrounding the subject of time and the present moment. Gave me a lot of invaluable insights that I still use to this day. Try to listen to that book at least once a year, and I highly recommend it. As I mentioned in previous videos, nothing exists outside the realm of our perception. And that includes time. How do you perceive time? What do you perceive time to be? Is it always lacking for you? Or are you always creating the energy of lack Are you always spending all your energy chasing something invisible that's not really there? I mentioned earlier that time is malleable. It can be bent. Well, we can bend time simply by changing our perspective of time. Time, just like everything else, is its own energy. Time exists as this unseen force in the hearts and minds of every single man, woman, and child on this planet. And everyone is giving this energy known as time a different wavelength of energy based on their perceptions. And when this happens, depending on how we use it and what we pour into it of ourselves, determines what happens next in life, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. It's like a domino effect. The decisions that you're making or not making at any given moment is affecting everyone's lives around you. How do you want to use time? Do you want time to be an invisible force that taunts you and drives you mad, or do you want it to be an invisible force that works for you? Comment below and let me know your thoughts on time. How do you perceive time? Has time been good to you or bad to you? If you have a negative perspective surrounding the subject of time, I urge and encourage you to look within yourself and see what you need to do to change that negative perspective. Negative perspective surrounding any subject is very damaging, but it's especially damaging when it surrounds something as sensitive as the subject matter of time. How do you want time to be? Make up your mind how you want time to be, and then work towards changing your neural pathways to perceive time differently. Work towards rewriting your brain to where it accepts and it perceives time differently. And you just may come to find out that if you can do that, if you can start to view and perceive time differently, that time as an energy all on its own will start to react to you differently. Time has a behavior, and it responds according to the energy that we pour into it. Just like everything else, time wants to be respected and used wisely. This is about all I've got today on this subject, guys. Subject of time. I've faced a little bit of difficulty making this video today. Had the original take to this video. I wasn't driving. I don't like to drive and shoot these videos. But my microphone messed up, so the original take to this video is more or less lost. I may still share it. I don't know. But I wanted to get this video out. I'm making a video a day, and I really felt like this was just an important subject that you needed to be able to hear what I had to say very clearly. If this video has served you in some way, or has brought you some sort of insight, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of my future videos that I post. And as always, I hope that everything in your life is going beautifully and that you have much peace and balance and love in your heart, mind, and soul. Have a wonderful day.